Welcome to this episode's story. Chapter 9, The Nasdaq Invitation, a Gilded Trap and the Choice of Tech's Original Purpose. New York's morning fog clung to the sky as Lynn Carter stood at the window of her Brooklyn safe house, staring at a hologram of Nasdaq's invitation. Pale blue light etched the exchange's dome, and a gilded line burned bright, cordially inviting Dr. Lynn Carter, founder of Hermes Biotech, to ring the opening bell for our annual Innovation Summit featuring your telomere optimization breakthrough. Her finger hovered over the word innovation, the exhaustion of her Iceland escape still clinging to her bones. A new storm was already gathering. Dr. Carter, Nasdaq's offer is a double-edged sword, old Joe said, setting a teacup on the table. The Jingdezhen porcelain, with its delicate blue lotus patterns, glowed softly amid dawn, an heirloom from her mother, its base etched with a tiny arc, the code name for Oriental New Era's secret project. Vita's roots run deep in Wall Street. Ringing that bell would throw your tech into the global spotlight, but it could also rally allies, proof that telomere tech shouldn't be monopolized. Lynn wrapped her fingers around the warm cup. She thought of Alan in Iceland, trembling as he said, "Vita can give us everything," then of her mother's last words, "Tech is a boat to save lives, not a blade to kill." The hologram flickered, revealing a post-bell event, a biotech investment summit, with Vita CEO Adrian Hawke as keynote speaker. "Adrian will be there," Lynn said, quiet but certain. She pulled up encrypted logs. Adrian's uncle had ordered, "Use the bell ceremony to steal Hermes' live demo data." Nasdaq to them was a hunting ground. And she was the prize. "I've prepped our team to install quantum mist encryption for the demo," old Joe said, pulling up a holographic blueprint of code. "If they try to hack it, the program spits fake parameters and sends their trail straight to Oriental New Era's servers. But promise me abort at the first sign of trouble." Lynn didn't answer. Instead, she fetched a tattered Tao Te Ching from the shelf, her mother's favorite. On its cover, her mother had written in English and Chinese, "He who does not compete, no one under heaven can compete with him." She traced the words, recalling Adrian's question at the Iceland summit. Is tech's purpose to break limits or balance them? His ice blue eyes had held a struggle she couldn't read, much like her own, caught between exposing her work and shielding it. "I'll go," Lynn said, slamming the book shut, resolve hardening. "Not for funding, not to fight Vita, to show the world telomere tech isn't a longevity privilege for the rich. It's hope for African kids dying of genetic defects, for laborers crippled by chip side effects." She typed a reply to Nasdaq, adding one condition. The demo must overlay real-time data on global genetic disorder relief efforts. The safe house alarm blared the second she hit send. Lynn activated the EMP, killing the hologram. Her terminal flashed red. Vitalink 3.0 neural interface detected. Source Vita HQ, Midtown Manhattan. "They're tracking you," old Joe said, yanking the curtains shut and tucking the teacup into a shockproof case. "I'm moving you to another safe house. Its shields block quantum-level scans. No more exposure before the bell." As they slipped through a narrow stairwell, Lynn spotted a faded newspaper headline, 2028 Arctic Expedition Disaster. The same year her mother died. The same year Project Ark went dark. A chill ran through her. Her mother's death, the expedition, Ark, Adrian's neural regulator, were they tangled like the lotus vines on the teacup, part of a single web? 2 mornings later, Lynn donned a crisp white suit and a quantum jamming collar. Old Joe drove her to Nasdaq, where reporters swarmed, drones buzzing. She stepped out, blinded by flashbulbs. "Dr. Carter, truth to Vita's $10 billion offer? Rumors say your tech comes from 20-year-old human experiments." Response: "Adrian Hawke called your refusal anti-capitalist bias. Any comment?" Lynn pushed through, her gaze locking with Adrian's at the top of Nasdaq's steps. He wore a tailored black suit, silver hair sleek, his ice blue eyes fixed on her. In his hand, the silver NASA pin, his mother's, the one she'd seen in Iceland's hotel footage. Their stares clashed, silent but charged. She saw his throat bob, as if he wanted to speak, but he merely nodded and stepped inside. Lynn clutched the teacup in her pocket, its arc etching pressing into her palm, a reminder of why she'd come. In the green room, her team tested the demo, holograms of telomeres, quantum cut precision repairing genetic damage. Dr. Carter, there's a rogue data stream. Mark, a researcher, whispered. Looks like a tracker Vita's FIM. Lynn smirked, activating quantum mist. The tracker's code reversed, now feeding Vita a fake server. Ms. Carter, it's time, a Nasdaq staffer said, handing her the bell mallet. Mr. Hawke's waiting inside. Lynn adjusted her suit, checking the mirror. She looked like her mother in the lab, steadfast, unyielding. She stepped into the chaos of the trading floor. Let's welcome Herms Biotech's Lynn Carter. The crowd roared. Lynn took the mic, ignoring her prepared speech. She pulled up live feeds, a Kenyan village where her tech was reversing a child's genetic disorder, Mumbai slums, laborers regaining mobility. This is Hermes' purpose. Not for billionaires to outlive their rivals, but for kids to survive, for workers to heal. Gasps rippled through the room. Adrian's jaw tightened. His uncle scowled. The bell, Dr. Carter? The host prompted, uneasy. Lynn turned to Adrian. Your mother's lab, she wasn't building a longevity filter, was she? She wanted this too, to help people. Adrian froze, shock and pain flashing in his eyes. He opened his mouth, but his uncle's cough cut him off a warning. Lynn understood. He was trapped just as she'd been by power and legacy. She raised the mallet and struck. Clang, clang. The hologram shifted to Hermes' code, green streams weaving like life itself. Vita's trackers, unseen, flooded their fake server with garbage data. Lynn slipped out before the after-party, old Joe guiding her to the car. We intercepted Vita's coms, he said, passing her a file. Adrian's uncle is livid, but Adrian just shut down 3 of Vita's data-stealing nodes in the exchange, claimed technical risks. Lynn's chest tightened. She read the logs. Adrian, using his clearance, had killed the hacks. A man who'd once threatened her, now quietly defying his family. His mother's lab assistant is alive in South America, old Joe said. Find him, and we find Ark's truth. Your mother's truth. Lynn's eyes lit up. The fog had lifted, sun glinting off skyscrapers. The road ahead would be brutal. Vita's backlash, her mother's secrets, Adrian's fragile rebellion. But she wasn't afraid. She had Oriental New Era, the millions counting on her, and a surprising ally hidden in the shadows. At the summit, Adrian stood at the podium, facing investors. His uncle glowered from the front row. Adrian set down his speech. My mother's work wasn't about screening lives, he said. It was about equality. She believed every life deserved health, regardless of wealth or race. Her research was weaponized. She died for it. Chaos erupted. His uncle lunged, but investors held him back, curious. Dr. Carter reminded me today, tech isn't a tool for greed, Adrian said, voice steady. It's a bridge. Vita will end all longevity screening research. We'll focus on genetic cures, share data, collaborate with Hermes. The room erupted boos, cheers, pandemonium. Adrian walked out, ignoring the chaos. In his car, he dialed his team. Find that South American lab assistant, now, and stop all attacks on Hermes. Release our telomere data to the public. Sir, the board will oust you, his subordinate warned. I know, Adrian said, gripping his mother's NASA pin. But some things matter more than power. She died for this. I won't let it be for nothing. Sunlight flooded the car as it merged into New York traffic. He thought of Lynn's question, of his mother pointing to stars. Every life is a child of the universe. Treat them gently. Meanwhile, Lynn's private jet climbed towards South America. She watched Adrian's speech on her tablet, a faint smile tugging at her lips. The war for tech power and humanity had only just begun, but she wasn't alone. She had an unlikely ally, a man willing to fight for his mother's truth. Just as she was, the story continues. Subscribe soon.